And we're back for the first episode of Committed to Excellence. We have received the keys to our facility in Las Vegas for these Raiders, and we're getting ready to assess the roster, make any changes that are necessary before we get going. And you know what? We had the pleasure to run into somebody who's been with the organization since he was born. He was born into his fandom. He has been committed to excellence since then. We're meeting with the janitor, y'all, and his name is Cameron. We're excited to have Cameron on board. He'll be on all these episodes of Committed to Excellence. Let's dive right into our conversation. This is Committed to Excellence. King might keep it moving. Let's get it. Okay, so you are a fan from way back. Again, we are talking to Cameron, who is the janitor. Tell us a little bit about your job, man. Like, what keeps you around this organization when really you are just a team manager / janitor? Why do you even want to be involved with this Oakland Raiders? How has the history of your fandom looked with this team?
Some people would say I just enjoy pain, being able to stay around.
Who would
But,
say that?
it's
That's such a
it's
terrible
just that
statement.
rich history ingrained in my brain, and
Okay.
I don't think I could ever cheer for any other team.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you on, Cameron. It's exciting to speak to a diehard Raider fan. Do you know anything about Coach Leo Manza King? He brings to the table 4 Super Bowl appearances throughout his time in PML. With 4 of those appearances, 2 of those games, he walked away with the championship. His last championship was last year with the Green Bay Packers in season 4 of a 5-season cycle. And he's walking into this opportunity kind of excited, but kind of cautious because the division he's heard has been hell. Over there in Denver, we have a top-notch coach, and in Los Angeles, and them Chargers, we got another coach, and then we have a Super Bowl champion as well in goddamn Kansas City. So how do you feel about Coach Leo Manza King and his scheme heading into this Raiders team? Do you see some correlations? Do you know anything about Coach King in the past?
Well, first of all, I'm very excited. The streets of Vegas are buzzing right now because it seems like we're finally getting a competent coach to take over this roster. I think this team is set up perfectly for the coach to take over. You got an offense that kind of fits your scheme. I don't think there's going to be too much touching you're going to need to be doing. And you got a defense where you have free reign on. Not many coaches get to have full input on a team, but I think here in Vegas, I mean, we're used to letting coaches take over and mess up. But I think you have the right plan.
Okay. Hey, I like you, Cameron. We might keep you around. We fired and kicked out a lot of people, but we might keep you around. You know how to talk that talk, sir. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start here before we go look at roster. We're gonna set a season goal. Okay, we got 4 wins, 7 wins, make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl. Cameron, you are the diehard fan. You have a legit outlook of what this team can do in the context of PML. Can you let us know where we should be having our sights set for this season?
Well, I think, with a new coaching staff, a new coaching, everything, I don't think us as fans, we have too high of expectations. We
Oh,
just want to see some competency, like
okay.
we want to see some wins put on the table. We don't expect a Super Bowl, but we expect, show you can compete, show us you
Okay.
can put some good film on the board. So
Okay.
I'm thinking either, you can scrape maybe into playoffs, but 8 wins or 7 wins would be perfect, I
Fuck
think.
that. We going for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We might not win the Super Bowl, but we going to be in that bitch, and we going to have a chance at it. So make the playoffs. I respect, the fans giving us some leeway, but we coming in hot, baby. Make the playoffs is our goal. We're committing to that goal for the year, and please believe we going to try to win double digits, if not the whole thing. So let's take a trip over to our roster, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we have and where we could go with this. First, starting with porn star Jimmy Garoppolo, 31 years old, 77 overall, speed 72, acceleration not much greater than that. Let's take a look at his throw power, which is 87. He's great, you know, in them short and the medium route areas, and it looks like he can throw on the run too. And 84 under pressure. Jimmy G is not too bad. Can you tell us a little bit about Jimmy G in this quarterback room?
I mean, Jimmy G is who he is, you know. He's the type of quarterback where if you tell him to throw somewhere, he's gonna throw it. He may not be able to get the ball deep, but he can definitely contribute in the short and
Okay.
medium passing game.
Okay.
A lot of people view him as more of a placeholder, but he does have his talents.
All right. Placeholder QB, and then what do we got backing him up with O'Connell, and well, we ain't even gonna look at Hoyer. Hoyer's just there just to be there. Aiden Cotton, we know he did good in real life during the preseason, but it's not looking like his Madden skills translate over here. So overall, over a 5-season cycle, is quarterback a position that we need to have on our board in terms of where we're gonna move forward?
I think it's the most important position that this team looks at. They just moved on from their franchise and Derek Carr. Now it's time to find a new franchise.
Okay, so those are quarterbacks. Let's take a look at who I believe is the reason why Coach King was brought on board, and it is Josh Jacobs. And even though Josh Jacobs is a superstar X-Factor running back with 90 speed, 92 acceleration, looks like his backfield vision, trucking, everything is 90 plus. This guy was holding out on us, man. So he signed on a franchise tag. So we only have him for 1 year. We might tag him again, or we might give him the money he's asking for. But at running back, you know, it's always iffy. What is your outlook of Josh Jacobs in the Coach King system? What do you think we should do with this guy, man? It looks like he has an X-Factor ability of wrecking ball. What do you know about Josh Jacobs?
Man, I'm so excited to just thinking about how he's going to be in this offense. I think the only reason why he's here and not sitting out for a new contract is because he himself is so excited for what this coaching staff brings. I know he wants to be a Raider for life. He has the Raider emblem tattooed on him.
Wait a
So if you
minute.
just give him the rock,
Okay.
he'll play hard for you.
All right. I'm liking that. And I'm super surprised by something, okay? I'm looking at Josh Jacobs now, and we have Backlash and Wrecking Ball, okay? We already know he's a power runner, but I'm excited and I'm kind of shocked by this backfield master, which means when he's lined up in the backfield, he has 4 additional routes. Josh Jacobs is catching footballs outside of, coming out of the backfield. I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah, that's a big area of his game that he's been working on since he's been in the NFL. When he first started off, it was a little rocky, but man, he put so much work in, and that's the kind of player he is. If you want him to do something, he'll learn.
Okay. Oh, we getting hype about Josh Jacobs. Okay, we got Jacob Johnson over here at fullback, and backing up. Let's back up a little bit. Backing up Josh Jacobs, we have Abdullah and Zamir White. Zamir might get some of those carries, and we'll use Abdullah as our third down back. Moving over to wide receiver, we have another dominant player, if not the best wide receiver. He's definitely in the top 5. It's Devontae Adams. Let's talk about him. He's coming in at 6'1", 215. He's 30 years old, so he's been around the block. He knows how to lead a locker room. He has double me, route tech, red zone threat, outside apprentice, and acrobat. Please tell me who Devontae is and how is he in the locker room? You see behind the scenes, does this guy want to be here? Is he somebody that we need to put on the trade block and get a massive haul for?
I mean, Devontae's from Oakland himself. He grew up a Raiders fan. He wants to bring a Super Bowl back to Vegas, back to the Raiders, back to the team that he watched when he was a kid. You can tell by his abilities that he's a very knowledgeable person, and he wants to pass that knowledge on. So if you're able to get a rookie in there to help him out too, hey, he's going to get a lot of good knowledge.
Good thinking there. Okay, Devontae Adams is looking like he will be the number 1 receiver, and we'll have him maybe out on an island by himself, see if we can get some one-on-one coverage or see if we can make the defense roll coverage over there, which might open up people like Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, DeAndre Carter, and Trey Tucker, who's a rookie. Can you tell us anything about these four guys? I've heard there's a nickname for Hunter. You want to tell me what that nickname is?
Yeah. The fans love to call him third and Renfro because
Okay.
he may not look like it, but he can run routes,
All
and
right.
that boy can get open.
Okay, so let's look at his ratings. You're saying he can run routes, 86 speed, 88 acceleration. I'm not too hype about that, but I do like that 93 catching. And now I'm looking at the short route of 88 and medium route of 85. I can see why he has the name third and Renfro. Before we move on, do you know anything about Trey Tucker? I'm seeing him. He looks 5'9", 185. Is he somebody that can challenge Hunter Renfro?
He definitely could challenge Hunter Renfro for that slot. A big part of why he was brought into the organization because he's so good in open field and so good in kick returns.
Okay.
He can make some big plays in special teams, and that's a big part of this organization too, is our special teams.
Well, a big part of Coach King's style is having a tight end that can make plays all over the field and can block. And I'm looking at this guy, Michael Mayer, and he was one of the people who I thought, okay, he's a rookie. He's somebody that I could really build upon. I know he's out of Notre Dame. I know he comes in as a day one starter. He wants to make his presence felt. He's 6'4", 265. This man is a monster. Tell me who Michael Mayer is. I know you've only seen him a couple of times, but you're behind the scenes, Cameron. Tell me who the real Michael Mayer is.
You know who Michael May reminds me of?
Uh-oh.
You might have heard of him.
Let
A
me
little
see.
baby Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, my God. Okay.
This man can do everything. He can block, he can catch, he can run, he can juke an open field. He is a monster among men.
All right. Okay. I like it. Michael Mayer. The only thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is the speed. But with all those other intangibles, I'm not really tripping about the speed too much. I'm wondering if I need to put a big arm brace on him just to kind of really reinforce he's baby Gronk. We shall see. Okay. So Michael Mayer is our tight end. Let's move over to offensive line and we'll look at them as a unit. Looks like we got Colton Miller at left tackle. Dylan Parham at left guard, Andre James in the center, and Greg Van Roten at right guard. Right tackle, we got, how do you pronounce this, man? You know, I don't want to say my player's name.
Jermaine Illuminor.
Illuminor. Okay, I got that down. It looks like we got a lot of young guys and a couple of vets out here with Colton Miller leading the way. Tell us a little about this offensive line and specifically who Colton Miller is.
Colton Miller, man, he's one of the captains of this team. Real
Okay.
stand-up guy. He's quiet, but he knows how to lead, and he
Okay.
knows how to keep your quarterback healthy
Okay,
and
that's
protect
what I
him
wanna
with
hear.
his life.
Okay, he looks like 88 speed, 82 run block, 89 pass block. This dude, 90 power. Okay, so he is a leader in the locker room and he's a performer on the field. So we will definitely take a deeper look at Colton Miller as our number one offensive lineman. But as a whole, this unit is not that good protecting our quarterback. So do you think that this is a unit that we need to address?
It's definitely a unit that needs to be addressed. I mean, the fans have been asking for it for years to be touched, to
Okay.
be, worked on, and
Okay.
they keep putting band-aids on it. We want a real fix.
You want a real fix. All right, well, we're going to see what we can do over there. We like to build our teams from inside out, so that may be the way that we start. Now, speaking of inside out, one of the first decisions that I have made is we are probably going to switch our philosophy on defense, and we are going to have Max Crosby have his hand in the dirt all the time. I know previously he comes in as a left outside linebacker and y'all ran a 3-4 and a 4-2-5, so he was kind of moving around a little bit, but we want Max to play fast and downhill, nothing but rush. So with that being said, we're going to switch him up a little bit. We can't change his position because he's a superstar, but just know we're going to have Mad Max going crazy. Tell us about Mad Max Crosby and why you love him so much.
Man, Mad Max, he's the first person in, the last person out.
Oh,
The
he's
hardest
one of them.
worker
Okay.
he'll be in at 4 a.m. and here till 9 p.m. He is the hardest worker I've ever seen. And the greatest thing about him, when he came into the NFL, I think he only knew one pass rush move.
Oh.
He knows every pass rush move now.
Okay,
His
okay.
limbs move like water. his body is like a wave of water.
Wait a
It's
minute, wait a minute, wait a
astonishing to
minute,
see.
wait. Hold on. You say he moves like water, and I'm over here looking at his abilities, and the first one is relentless, and the picture is a wave, and as I go down, you got edge threat elite, and then you got swim clubs. So you describing him as water is perfect because it's looking like it's exactly what you're saying. How do you feel about Mad Max being moved inside? Because that's something that we're thinking about tinkering with. We definitely going to keep him on the outside a lot, but this guy, we're thinking about moving him around on that line. How you feel about that?
Hey man, when you're elite in the NFL and you're as good as Max, you can play anywhere on the line. It does not matter.
Okay. Now let's move over to another guy who won't respond to my text. I do not understand why Chandler Jones is upset. He has been in the league for a lot of years, 11 years. He's still a superstar. He knows how this goes. Is he upset with the coaching staff? Does he not want to be here? He still has edge threat, elite, and strip specialist. Who is this guy, and why does he think he can duck me?
Well, the fans think he's a selfish person right now,
Oh,
taking
man.
all our team's money and not showing up to practice
Okay.
before week 1. He's putting our team in jeopardy for
That
his own
kind of that
selfish
that
accord.
kind of grinds my gears. And first of all, it's not our team; it's my team. And
So
I'm
sad.
listening to a lot of things you're saying, and I feel like you're trying to tell me what to do with this team. Okay, I'm gonna have you on this show a lot, but you need to understand something, Cameron. You can get fired just like anybody else. Do you understand that?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, Cameron. I like you, but you got to stay in your place there, sir. Because if Cameron Jones answers my text, he will be on this field, okay? And you're just gonna have to deal with it, and you still need to give me the behind the scenes of what's going on with Cameron Jones. Is that okay with you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll check in. I'll check in on him.
All right, what else do we need to know about this defensive line? Cameron, you're a good guy. You know how to take a joke, sir. There's a dude that I want to talk about. His name is Tyree Wilson. Okay, I'm getting whispers about this guy, all right? He's 6'6", 271, a freak out of Lubbock, Texas. He went to Texas Tech. Who is Tyree Wilson? What do I need to know about this guy?
Well, one thing about Tyree Wilson is, he kind of compares up to Chandler Jones. He has a
Oh,
lot of bend in his body. He
okay.
can kind of rush with power, and that's his main thing. It's rushing with
I
power.
see,
He's
I
a big
see.
dude. He's a big dude, and it's got some speed on him. So him rushing inside with that power, that could be dangerous.
Okay. Well, depending on if Jones responds back to my text, we may be thinking about moving Tyree to the inside and having him playing a little defensive tackle and moving him around and just kind of being that guy that we may put him in a spy. You know what I'm saying? If Patrick Mahomes wants to move around a little bit, we'll see. I kind of like the way you think, Cameron. I kind of like the way you think. We're going to skip over the linebackers because technically linebackers, they're plug and play in my system. There's one guy named Devon Diablo. We may keep him around. We may ship him out. What do you think about Devon?
I really like Divine, and not just the name because it's a pretty dope name.
It's a dope
But,
name. I
you
ain't
know,
gonna lie. I
um,
like that too.
he, he's really working hard to be good in the NFL. He bulked up about 20 pounds in the last year. He
Okay.
really wants to make this work, and I
Okay.
think I think he can do it. He was a former safety, converted linebacker. You need those kind of
Oh.
players to make the play on ball.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't know he was a former safety converted into linebacker. Interesting, because PML has these new rules about players moving around, so he might have been one of those people who was ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So last but not least, let's take a look at our cornerbacks and our safeties. Okay, we got Marcus Peters, Nate Hobbs, David Long, Amik Robertson or Robertson, I don't know. Robertson, Brandon Faison, he's cut. I'm cutting him. I don't like his name. He's out of here, Cameron. He's out of here, okay? Brandon Faison is out of here.
I'm glad you liked my name.
Okay, yeah, I do like your name. So yeah, because if I don't like your name, you're out of my building. Okay, this is. If I got a bad feeling about your name, you're cut, you're fired, you're out. Okay, Jacorian Bennett, I like that name. Tell me about this rookie, man. 5'11", 195 from Maryland. Let's take a look at his 96 speed, 97 acceleration. Who is this guy, Jacorian Bennett?
Man, he's like a Hot Wheel on that field, Energizer Bunny. You plug that sucker in, and he's just gonna keep on going and going. Man, I'm very excited to see this kid on the field. He's fast. It's what we needed. We needed it 4 years ago when Tyreek was here, but now we finally got it.
I love it, man. Did you say Hot Wheels on the field? Okay, all right, we like it. So Jacoria is probably going to start for us. We're probably going to go ahead and start Peters on the other side. And I think I heard you say, when I walked in, I was listening to some conversations that you were having in the break room, and I heard you discussing Nate Hobbs and maybe the coaching staff of the past should have had him at the slot.
Oh yeah, he belongs in the slot. He's the perfect nickel corner. He
Okay.
plays the run hard. He'll blitz the quarterback. He'll break through the line, and he can defend the pass. He has all levels to the game.
Right. Okay. So interesting, because coming through and looking at this roster on a surface level, I thought the DBs was one of the weak areas, but it seems like they might be sneaky good. Because as we move over to the free safety, we have Trayvon. How do you say his last name?
Morig.
Morig, okay, and I know he's good. I know he has hit power. He's 6'2", 202. He's out of TCU, so another Texas boy. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, so he can move around. He's okay back there at free safety. We play split coverage. That's kind of how we come in with our defense. So we need our safeties to almost operate as linebackers. Will this guy be able to do that? Because his hit power is 89 and his tackle's only 70. Tell me a little bit about Trayvon.
I mean, his first couple years in the NFL and college, he was used predominantly as a single high safety.
Mm,
But a lot of the coaches said he's a very smart kid. He'll be
okay.
able to learn. It won't
Okay.
take too hard of a transition for him to move over.
Okay, because we may put him out there to take care of that middle of the field, but for the most part, we do too high and split the field and just kind of do some different things back there. Okay, now we got, last but not least, we have Marcus Epps. I believe he came in from Philly, so he has a ring. He is, or not in the ring, but he has a Super Bowl appearance, so he can kind of come in and kind of coach us up and let us, be another coach on the field and talk to the players with that experience. What do you know about Marcus Epps?
Well, that's exactly what you said. Teams need that coach on the field, someone who knows how to win. And you already got that on offense. Now you need it for defense because this defense needs to learn how to win. And coming from Philadelphia, he already has the tools and knowledge of what it's like to win.
Okay.
He may not be a long-term person, but he's good to help the culture and
Okay.
establish what you want from a defense.
Okay. Well, Raider Nation and Raider culture is being committed to excellence. Cameron, if you are committed to excellence, we will commit to you and we will bring you on board and have you kind of see what is going on in the background. And we will allow you, if you put in the work, to work your way up from the toilet seat to the penthouse suite. From the toilet seat to the penthouse suite. Is that something you are interested in, Mr. Cameron?
Yes, coach. Yes, sir. I am
right.
so interested in that.
Okay, Cameron. Well, we're going to have you on after our week 1 win or loss. We'll see how it goes. But either way, Cameron, I kind of like you. And we're going to continue this series, man. And this is PMreaL. Cameron in the building, the #1 fan of the Oakland Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. He went all the way back with them when they was in Oakland. He's going to stay with us throughout the cycle talking about this team and its development. Cameron, we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me on.